Have you ever connected with someone so deeply that it scared you, only for them to suddenly pull back as if everything changed overnight? What if the silence that feels like rejection is actually one of the clearest signs that you touched something real inside her? The truth is, sometimes distance is not the end. Sometimes distance is the beginning. And when you understand this, dating starts making sense in a way most men never experience. You meet a girl, and she hits you like a surprise sunrise, warm, bright, and a little disorienting. The connection feels electric. You talk effortlessly. You laugh without thinking about how you sound. She remembers the small things you say. You catch her smiling at her phone. Everything inside you whispers, "This is different." Then suddenly, the rhythm changes. Her texts get shorter. Her replies get slower. And one day, nothing. You stare at your phone thinking, "What did I do wrong? Did I come on too strong? Was I too honest? Did she lose interest just like that?" Most men spiral right here. But what if the story is not ending? What if it is shifting? Because sometimes silence is not, "I don't like you." Sometimes silence is, "I like you more than I expected, and I don't know what to do with that." Let's break down the deep psychology behind this. And I want to take you deeper, not just into dating, but into life, fear, vulnerability, and human behavior. Because this pattern is not just about her. It is something every person experiences when something meaningful comes into their life. One, fear of vulnerability, when reality hits hard. Picture this. A woman learns early in life to protect her heart. Maybe she has been hurt. Maybe she trusted someone who did not deserve it. Maybe she built herself back up and promised, "Never again." Her heart becomes a fortress, not out of coldness but necessity. Then you show up. You are not another passerby. You feel familiar in a way that is unsettling. Your presence stirs emotions she thought she buried. Suddenly, she feels the drawbridge lowering without her permission. That scares her. It is like someone discovering a locked journal under their bed popped open overnight. All the memories, all the hopes, all the fears sitting there exposed. Most men misunderstand what happens next. She does not run because she dislikes you. She pulls back because she suddenly likes you enough to be afraid. I will tell you a real story. A friend once told me about a woman he dated briefly. They talked every night for hours. She opened up to him faster than she planned to. One day, she disappeared for nearly a week. No explanation, no warning. When she came back, she admitted something most people never say out loud. "I pulled away because I realized I could fall for you, and that terrified me more than the idea of losing you." That is how powerful vulnerability can be. Her silence is not always rejection. Sometimes it is self-defense. She is not wondering whether she likes you. She is wondering whether she is safe to like you. 2. The confidence test, life's natural filter. There is a truth about human nature that rarely gets spoken aloud, yet influences almost every relationship we ever experience. People test each other, not consciously, not cruelly, but instinctively. We test reliability. Are you consistent when life gets uncomfortable? We test emotional balance. Do you stay grounded when situations shift unexpectedly? We test presence. Do you lose yourself the moment uncertainty enters the picture? A woman's silence often becomes one of those natural filters. Not because she is trying to manipulate you. Not because she wants to play mind games. Not because she enjoys being mysterious. It is deeper than that. Older than that. Biological, psychological. A built-in way of measuring the emotional stability of the man she might let into her life. She wants to know one thing. Do you stay steady when things become unclear? This instinct forms over a lifetime of watching how people behave under pressure. When someone truly matters, We notice their reactions more closely. And here is something most men never consider. A woman's silence creates emotional pressure on purpose, even if she doesn't know it. Not to punish you, but to reveal you. Because when she cares, she pays attention to the small moments where your character leaks through the cracks. Silence becomes the moment where your mask falls away. And make no mistake, silence does create pressure. Not because you are weak, but because uncertainty triggers the human fear of loss. How you respond to that moment says more about you than any words you could send. Some men crumble instantly. They panic. They double text. They send paragraphs trying to fix something that wasn't broken. They spiral into, "Why aren't you texting?" They let anxiety take the steering wheel. Their reaction sends one clear message: my world revolves around your attention. Without it, I lose control. But hear the truth. That is not attraction. That is dependency. And dependency suffocates the very connection they're trying to preserve. The tragedy is that these men mean well. They care deeply. They want clarity. They want reassurance. But in their panic, they reveal an emotional fragility she cannot lean on. Because attraction is not born in desperation. It grows in steadiness. A confident man, a man grounded in purpose, responds differently. His day does not collapse because a text took longer than expected. His emotional balance does not shatter because someone needed space. He does not rush to fill the silence with frantic energy. He keeps living. He keeps his rhythm. He stays aligned with his goals. He remains rooted in who he is, not in the reaction he hopes to get. His confidence is not a performance. It is a lifestyle. He understands this timeless principle. Not everything requires a reaction. Not every pause is a threat. Not every silence is a crisis. Women do not expect perfection. They do not need a man to never feel. They do not need a man who is made of stone. They want a man who is internally anchored. A man who can weather emotional uncertainty without losing his center. A man who does not crumble at the first sign of tension. A man who stands firm, not with arrogance but with calm presence. There is something magnetic about that. It creates a kind of emotional gravity she can trust. Let me tell you a story. A man I knew once fell for a woman who would occasionally go quiet when she felt overwhelmed. His instinct was to chase, to clarify, to fix, but one day he decided to try something different. He stayed calm. He continued his routine. He worked out. He handled business. He checked on friends. He went on with his life. She later admitted something powerful. When you didn't panic, I realized you were the most emotionally safe man I'd met in years. His steadiness became more attractive than any compliment or romantic gesture. He wasn't cold. He wasn't indifferent. He was simply grounded. And she could feel that. Women notice that energy instantly because it communicates something primal. You can trust me to stay steady when life gets confusing. When she pulls away, the man you become during that silence is the man she remembers. If you panic, she sees fear. If you lash out, she sees insecurity. If you beg for reassurance, she sees instability. But if you remain grounded, if you stay focused on your purpose, if you hold your own emotional position with calm discipline, she sees a man, not a boy, a partner, not a burden, a leader, not someone to manage. And that speaks louder than any reply you could send. Not force, not ego, just centered, quiet confidence. The kind that stands firm even when the world and the woman go silent. 3. The overthinker's battle when feelings become pressure, expanded version. Think about how easy it is to message someone you are only mildly interested in. There is no pressure, no stakes, no fear of messing anything up. You type whatever comes to mind. You hit send without reading it twice. You are relaxed because the outcome barely matters. But when it is someone who actually matters, everything shifts. Suddenly, your thumbs slow down. You read your message 3 times before sending it. You wonder whether your humor lands the way you think it does. You wonder if that emoji is too much. You wonder if you should wait 5 minutes or 15 before replying. Now imagine that same mental spiral, but magnified. That is what happens in her mind. She is not ignoring you due to apathy. She goes quiet because the emotional pressure becomes real. See, people only overthink when something feels important. Overthinking is a sign of emotional investment, not detachment. I have seen this play out countless times. A woman sits on her bed, phone in her hand, rereading your message. Not because she does not know what to say, but because she wants to respond in a way that reflects how much she cares, without revealing how much she cares. It is a balancing act between excitement and fear, interest and restraint, hope and caution. She drafts a message, deletes it, write a new one, deletes that too. She tries to be witty, then thinks it sounds forced. She tries being sweet, then thinks it sounds desperate. She tries something casual, then worries it sounds cold. Minutes pass, sometimes hours, and eventually she tells herself, I will reply later when I feel clear. And that delay becomes silence, not because the feelings disappeared, but because the feelings are too intense to navigate in the moment. For some women, emotions operate like a crowded room. Too many thoughts, too many fears, too much noise. Silence becomes the only way to step out of the chaos and breathe. It is not that she does not want to talk to you. It is what she wants to say the right thing. And the weight of wanting it so badly becomes overwhelming. This is emotional overload. A mind trying to protect a heart that is suddenly exposed. Let me tell you a real scenario that might help you understand this. There was a woman I knew who had been single for years after a painful breakup. She met someone who genuinely made her happy, and she told me that every time he texted, it felt like a small earthquake inside her chest. She said, I would stare at my phone, scared to reply because I did not want to ruin the connection. I cared too much, and that made it feel dangerous. Notice the irony. The person who makes us feel alive can also be the person who triggers our deepest fears. Sometimes she is not pulling away from you. She is pulling away from the intensity inside herself. When the heart wakes up after being numb for a long time, the shock can feel like danger. So understand this. Her silence is not rejection. Her silence is the sound of someone trying to steady her heartbeat. And sometimes, the person who stirs the strongest feelings is the very person she is scared to lose, which is exactly why she hesitates. For attraction grows in space, the emotional cliffhanger. Here is the part most men never understand. Attraction needs oxygen. It needs tension. It needs anticipation. It needs distance sometimes. When she pulls back, she unintentionally creates a cliffhanger in your mind. Your brain hates unresolved stories. You start thinking about her more, not less. You replay conversations. You remember her laugh. You imagine what she is doing. You miss her energy. This space builds emotional gravity. It is the same mechanic behind every great story. The moment you do not have all the answers, your mind becomes invested. Women often do this unintentionally. They create space because they are processing emotions. But that same space also deepens the connection, if handled correctly. And here is the Stoic lesson. What grows in stillness is often stronger than what grows in constant noise. So what should you do? Let me share something simple but powerful. Whenever someone pulls away, your reaction reveals your character. Do not chase. Do not beg. Do not question your worth. Mirror her pace. Focus on your mission. Keep building yourself. Stay occupied with what gives your life meaning. After some time, reach out lightly. Not with pressure, not with anxiety, but with calm energy. A light, playful message. A small reminder of your presence. Nothing heavy. Then let her respond in her time. But be honest, sometimes silence means she is done. Here is the mature truth most men need to hear. Not every silence is fear. Not every silence is overthinking. Not every silence is attraction. Some silence is simply silence. A woman who still likes you gives something. A view on your story, a short reply, a smiley, a breadcrumb of presence. A woman who is not interested disappears completely. Learn to tell the difference, not by emotion, but by observation. Do not treat silence as a threat. Treat it as information. A woman's pullback can reflect her fear, her interest, her uncertainty, or her desire to protect her heart. Your job is to remain grounded, calm, stable, purpose-driven. A man on his path does not lose himself because someone steps away for a moment. Your strength is not proven when everything is easy. Your strength is proven in the quiet moments when your mind wants to panic, and you choose stillness instead. That is real confidence. That is real attraction. That is the modern Stoic man. If this opened your eyes, tell your story in the comments. I read them all, and they help me understand what you are facing. And if this resonated, tap the like button and subscribe for more straight, grounded insights into dating psychology, human behavior, and personal strength. Do not chase the girl. Understand the girl. Understand yourself. See you in the next one.